You clicked for the truth about winter 2025. You're in the right place. 10 border towns, rugged, no-complaint locals are telling you to stay away, and not for the reasons you think. We're talking empty hotels in peak season, ferries slashing schedules, and whole weekends wiped out by flight cancellations. But here's the catch. It's not just the storms. Political friction cut Canadian visits and credit card spending. Then the blizzards finished the job. We'll count down the 10 places where that double hit turned thriving winter economies into survival mode. Miss one, and you'll miss the why behind the vacancies. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1, Buffalo. Buffalo banks on Bills weekends. Full hotels from downtown to Cheektowaga. Then one storm cycle and a cross-border slowdown flipped the switch. Rooms sat open, staff got sent home. Here's the thing. The airport shutdowns and throughway closures stacked. Canadians, normally swiping cards for jerseys and beer, pulled back after months of trade noise. Flight cancellations piled up, and the border flow thinned. Small hotels blasted last-minute deals that still didn't move. NBC called roads dangerous or impossible, and locals believed it. Buffalo didn't slow. It stalled. Lock in on Lake Erie's edge, then slide down the shoreline to the next short hop market, Erie. Number 2, Erie. Erie sells winter like a craft beer flight. Brew pubs, hockey tourneys, quick Canadian runs. That's the model, but here's the catch. The storm train smacked the Mid-Atlantic and Midwest, with NBC tracking days of don't drive alerts. At the same time, a congressional report flagged big drops in Canadian passenger vehicle crossings in 2025. Tournaments bailed, schools closed, Airbnbs cut prices and still sat. Trucks lagged, restaurants trimmed hours. Retail weekends went soft because the Canadian day tripper vanished. It's real. It's happening. Locals say stay off the roads. You'll spend more time shuffling plans than sipping flights. Keep heading east. Snow culture meets broken math. Number 3, Syracuse. Syracuse treats lake effect like a Tuesday. Festivals roll, the Carrier Dome pulls crowds, and winter usually pays. That's the baseline. But here's the catch. SYR saw weather-driven delays and cancellations ripple in from national storms, and the last-minute bookings died. Local reporters flagged softer walk-ins at restaurants. Upstream, Canadian card spend fell while border crossings dropped state by state, undercutting the impulse trips that patch weekends. So businesses pivoted. Discounts, locals, first promos, shorter hours. It helped, not enough. The math broke on margins because the planes and the border flow didn't cooperate. Drive north, where snow is sport and survival. Watertown's next. Number 4, Watertown. Watertown runs on 3 engines. Fort Drum families, Canadian day trippers, and locals who treat whiteouts like errands. That balance pays the bills. But here's the catch. Early January stacked advisories and outages. Jefferson County posted closures while power flickered across neighborhoods. Hotels sat oddly open mid-season, even as plows looped nonstop. Weekend tills lagged last year's take at big box stores, diners, and mid-scale hotels. Layer on the border drag. Regional data showed sharp Canadian traffic and spend declines in 2025, and North Country businesses reported fewer cross-border customers and staffing cuts. Locals told friends to skip the trip. Safety first. Margins cratered. Now, jump to the Upper Peninsula. Number 5, Marquette. Marquette sells winter. Trails groomed, fat tire bikes buzzing, frozen shoreline doing numbers on Instagram. Hotels usually ride steady Friday to Sunday waves. That rhythm pays the light bill. But here's the catch. Storm advisories stacked while the trails were actually perfect. Cancellations rolled in. Resorts floated lift ticket deals, and drivers still bailed on white-knuckle US 41. Road alerts, postponed events, and softer occupancy all hit at once. Add the regional dip in Canadian traffic into Michigan's northern corridor, and you get a double hit. Less international demand, plus storms blocking the diehards. Result? Snow but not spend. Slide west toward the state line, where a smaller town felt bigger pain. Number 6, Ironwood. Ironwood lives on drivable weekends. Ski hills, Nordic loops, and mom-and-pop motels make rent when cars roll in and Canadian crews chase early snow. That's the engine. But here's the catch. Icy US2 and M28 advisories stacked with school closures. Nordic meets and hill events got canceled or pushed. Chairlifts ran to half lines. Discounted rooms still sat. Macro headwind made it worse. Fewer Canadians, weaker dollar psychology, plus storm-slammed weekends across the Midwest. Let that sink in. Locals posted, "Don't risk the drive." Businesses took the hit. Small resorts can't eat 2 bad weekends in a row. Follow the cold to a harbor town built on winter grit. Number 7, Duluth. Duluth sells winter hard. Bentleyville glow, canal ice, cozy lobbies. The hospitality scene is trained for snow. That's the brand. But here's the catch. 2025 storms choked I-35 and clipped regional flights. NBC tracked multi-state systems while Minnesota advisories stacked. Canadian day trippers faded, so festivals trimmed hours. Restaurants shortened shifts. Waterfront hotels ran promos in peak. Local reports told the same story. Staffing cuts, reduced hours, softer weekends. And border-wide trends out of Washington and Montana showed Canadian spend sliding, a signal that dulled Duluth's regional pull. So the city stayed gorgeous, and the math went red. Visibility wasn't the problem. Mobility was. Now head inland. Wind country. Number 8, Fargo. Fargo sells toughness. Bars stay open. Hockey still drops the puck. People normally show up, but here's the catch. The winter storm wave collided with airline chaos. National cancellations bled into Hector's schedules, while long, dangerous driving advisories stalled road trips. Fewer fly-ins. Softer spillover from the region. Hotels and venues lost weekend cash flow. DOT closures and slow-roll reopenings turned a packed calendar into guesswork. Small venues reported no shows, and a youth tournament scratched. National storm coverage lined up with local event weekends, which means this wasn't a vibe shift. It was a supply cut. Fargo didn't get soft, the pipelines did. Head south and up into altitude. Wind plus ice rewrote the rulebook. Number 9, Cheyenne. Cheyenne handles cold. Downtown still hums on event weekends and road trippers fill the gaps. That's the normal playbook. But here's the catch. Winter 2025 threw high wind closures on I-25 and I-80. YDOT logs backed it up. Cheyenne Regional saw delays while national cancellations stacked. Events shuffled dates. No Canadian backfill, so rooms turned soft and servers lost shifts. This is the multi-state storm story in micro. When interstates close and safety warnings hit feeds, tourism drops instantly. Open roads equal open wallets. Closed roads equal open tables. Locals told friends to skip the trip. Margins tightened. Now to the Black Hills Gateway, where cancellations hit like dominoes. Number 10, Rapid City. Rapid City runs on shoulder season. Quick Badlands runs, winter park loops, and indoor museums that keep weekends steady. But here's the catch. Storm alerts shut buses, spooked fly-ins, and turned rural routes into ice rinks. Tour operators cut routes and trimmed staff hours. School closures stacked, airport delays dragged, attractions shortened schedules that were steady last winter. That's the gut punch for a small hub. When international demand slips and weather slams logistics, the damage multiplies. Rapid City didn't lose its draw. It lost its access window. Winter 2025 punished any business betting on predictable weekends. We've seen the pattern. One city still needs the deeper backstory: the Pacific Northwest's cross-border shock. Border towns didn't just fight snow. They faced a demand crash. Fewer Canadians, weak currency vibes, tariff talk hangover. The cushion vanished when storms hit. States like Washington and Montana saw steep slides in Canadian traffic and spend. Ferries trimmed runs. Ski towns rolled out welcome deals and still watched bookings fall through. Kalispell pushed Canadian passes. Whitefish shifted its guest mix. Washington ferries cut schedules. CBC and NPR flagged long-term risk to international travel. The congressional report said Canadian tourism pumped $20.5 billion and 140,000 jobs in 2024. So here's the thing. The fallback customer disappeared. Travel smart next. Timing, backups, and not straining small towns.